So let me tell you a story of how I became a teacher, okay? Growing up, right, I wanted to be a doctor. Like any other child. I used to talk to my mom about this. I want to be a doctor, and all that. But then as I transitioned into my teen years, my passion for modeling and fashion began to take shape, right? I had been a tomboy during my junior high. And then when I got to senior high, that phase just gradually gave away for my admiration for glamour and sophistication of fashion, right? And I started wanting to be a model. It's just something that just like was sparked out of me. I don't know why, naturally so. It was just there. So icons like Tyra Banks, Naomi Campbell were like my people. I even used to watch Tyra Banks' Next Top Model, and I also used to watch her talk show. She had a talk show. I was like literally just like obsessed with Tyra Banks, right? So she inspired me deeply, and I envisioned myself walking the runways just like them. I wanted to go to London, Milan, Paris. They just inspired me. And Paris was just like, in particular, this city that I just wanted to be at. Because I was like, I want to be a super model, okay? I want to be a supermodel walking on the rampway in Paris. That was at the back of my mind, but not paying really attention to it. It was just like far-fetched, just like, yeah. So at the same time, I was an avid student, right? I spent countless hours at home immersed in my studies. If I didn't study, I didn't pass. So that's how I am. I'm not naturally gifted, but I can study and then I do well. So I said, and then when I was in high school, started in junior high school, started borrowing books, reading, right, and I was captivated by series like Goosebumps, Babysitter's Club. I don't know if you guys remember that. Those who are my age, though, like I was obsessed with those. And fiction used to be like the books where I used to love fiction. Even now, I still love it. I feel like it was an escape. It offered an escape from the real life to just like be in a world of your own and all that. So yeah, I really love that. And I started reading those kind, and then the taste evolved as I went to senior high. I started adding Sydney Sheldon, Danielle Steele into the whole mix, right? And then we went to university. So when I got to the University of Botswana, I didn't even know what I wanted to study. I couldn't even choose for myself. So but then French was uttered. Someone like told us that we have an option of choosing French, and I was like, okay, let me just try this French. But at the back of my mind, I'm like, French and Paris. Ooh, maybe if I study French, I can end up going to Paris. But it was just like very far. Where you don't think that you can achieve something, but then I just let it go, right? It was just a thought, and then I was like, silly. And then I chose French. The first year of studying French was really hard. It was not easy. And I didn't let go of my passion for reading. I used to buy books, and then I would buy books, Daniel still Sydney Sheldon, all those, and a bunch of whole other authors. But then I bought this other novel called 5 Days in Paris. So 5 Days in Paris was a transformative novel for me. It changed the whole trajectory of how I viewed French language, right? So yeah, and I read it, and it's just like it was so captivating, right? Daniel Steele's vivid description of Paris, the Champs-Élysées, Arc de Triomphe, Musée du Louvre, painted such a dazzling picture that it sparked my love for French language and my dream to experience Paris firsthand. It was just like, yeah. And then I continued to study French, and it was just like my way of combining my love for fashion and the allure of French language, and the allure of the French capital, right? Right, like the language and the capital. It was kind of like making sense, but sadly, pursuing modeling in Botswana came with its own set of challenges. opportunities were scarce, and breaking into the industry, international scene proved elusive, right? We wouldn't even get paid. I would go for auditions. I even went for, I actually did Miss UB at some point. And then I went for Miss Botswana auditions, and we also did like some modeling agencies, and it was just like not paying enough. It was just like, and then I just ended up like, you know what, I give up. And I turned my focus to academics, right? I turned my focus to academics, determined to create a path where I could still engage with French language and culture I had grown to love. Like I decided to just like, let me try the academic route and see what it has for me. And today I'm not a supermodel, but I'm a French teacher, and I'm a French teacher who has visited Paris not once but a couple of times. While my experience of the city was not as a runway model as I had envisioned, I've explored the very landmarks I once dreamed of about. Right, the journey may not have unfolded exactly the way I envisioned my youth, but it has. It doesn't mean that it has been less meaningful. Uh, it has been really such a fulfilling journey. You get what I'm saying? Like, teaching has allowed me to channel my passion into something impactful. As I get to teach kids, I get to share the beauty of the language and the culture while carving out my own version of success, right? Like, so it has really been a beautiful, beautiful journey. French French language has really changed my life, and I am so grateful for it. I love it. It's my passion, and right now I'm a translator and interpreter, and I just get to enjoy even teaching. I have taught kids from preschool to, I've taught preschoolers, primary school kids, junior high kids, senior secondary, even to adults, you know, and they have passed, and it just like gives me so much joy to see someone getting something that I have, like someone really being successful, and I played a part in it. So that has been my French language journey, and I hope that you get to just pick a language, whichever language it could be, just learn it with a passion, and who knows where it might take you, you know. And yeah, so that is my story of how I became a teacher. And yeah, tell me in the comments if you have any questions for me. Yes, and but I'm still waiting for mon amour. Oui, oui. Et bisous, ciao.